The Galactic Council Hall floated above a glowing nebula, its silver towers wrapped in soft light from a dying star. Hundreds of alien representatives filled the vast chamber, their strange bodies reflecting the colors of their worlds. The air vibrated with nervous voices and translator drones buzzed around like fireflies. At the center stood a single human, Captain Marcus Reed of Earth. He wore the old Terran uniform, black and gray with no insignia, except a small silver emblem on his chest. His eyes were steady, his posture calm. Around him, the other delegates whispered. Some pitied him, others smirked openly. Humanity was still considered a young race by most of the galaxy, brave but reckless, emotional but primitive. The session began when High Chancellor Kareth of the Vion Empire raised his long arm. "This emergency meeting is called," he announced, his deep voice echoing, "to address the unacceptable actions of the human fleet that entered forbidden space near the Othari cluster. Earth must explain itself." Dozens of lights blinked on the floor as different worlds voted in agreement. Marcus didn't speak right away. He looked at the glowing hologram in front of him, a map showing the human ships near the restricted zone. They weren't supposed to be there, at least according to council law, but he knew the truth ran deeper. When the silence grew heavy, Marcus stepped forward. "Humanity did not violate your borders," he said evenly. "We responded to a distress call from a mining outpost. When our ships arrived, the colony was already gone. No survivors. We're still investigating." A ripple of laughter broke out from the seats. The ambassador of the Xylar Dominion tilted his crystalline head. "Investigating? You expect us to believe this is a rescue mission, human? You've always been quick to draw weapons when frightened." Marcus kept his tone calm. "Perhaps, but we also save lives when others look away." The Xylar hissed, his body glowing faintly. "Save lives? You destroyed 2 of our patrol drones. You breached council law." Marcus replied. "Our ships were fired upon first. You forget that detail." The Chancellor struck the gavel. "Enough, the evidence is clear. Earth's actions threaten the balance of the galaxy. You humans were given a chance to prove your maturity, but you remained dangerous." Every word struck like a hammer, yet Marcus stood silent, emotionless. Deep inside, however, something stirred. A quiet anger that every human in history had known when treated unjustly. The Chancellor turned toward the other delegates. "All in favor of sanctioning Earth, raise your mark." One by one, the glowing lights on the chamber floor turned red. Vion, Xylar, Drathion, and a dozen more. Only a few remained neutral. Not a single one defended Earth. The motion passed in minutes. "The Council," said the Chancellor, "hereby cuts all trade, travel, and protection treaties with the planet known as Earth. Effective immediately." A murmur filled the room. Some looked triumphant, others uneasy. No one spoke to Marcus. He looked up at the rows of alien faces and said quietly, "So this is justice." Kareth leaned forward. "It is order, human. You will comply or face consequences." Marcus nodded slowly. "Understood." Then he turned, walked calmly out of the chamber, and stepped into the dim corridor beyond. His steps echoed against the polished metal floor. 2 security drones floated behind him, watching but not daring to stop him. When he reached the private docking bay, he paused near a quiet corner and pressed a small device on his wrist. The holographic screen blinked to life. A single encrypted message appeared. Short, cold, and clear. Phase 1. Commence. Marcus exhaled slowly. He knew what that meant. Earth had waited for years, tolerating insult after insult from the Council. They called humans emotional, unpredictable, fragile. They laughed at the slow progress of Terran science. But they never noticed the silence, the missing signals from deep space probes, the secret disappearances of old warships, or the strange gravitational readings from Sol system. He looked out the viewport where hundreds of alien ships glittered against the stars. Somewhere beyond that light, the people of Earth were watching. They had been patient long enough. Marcus entered his ship, the small Terran envoy vessel Resolute. Its systems hummed quietly as he sat in the command chair. "Activate secure channel," he said. The AI's soft female voice responded, "Secure channel ready, Captain." "This is Reed," he said. "Council has voted. Sanctions confirmed. Returning to rendezvous point." "Copy that," replied a distant voice, almost distorted by static. "Orders are in motion. Hold your position until the signal." Marcus looked at the stars once more. He remembered Earth, The blue oceans, the golden plains, the faces of people who never saw the galaxy's cruelty. They worked, they dreamed, and they built machines to protect themselves from any threat. The galaxy thought humans were naive because they smiled while bleeding. But they didn't understand that humanity's silence was never weakness, it was warning. As the Resolute detached from the station, Marcus's reflection appeared in the glass, calm eyes, tight jaw, and a storm hidden beneath his composure. He whispered softly, "Let them laugh. They won't be laughing for long." Far behind him in the glow of the Council's towers, alien lights shimmered like cold stars. None of them knew that Earth satellites had already awakened. None knew that old war codes were being entered into systems once thought abandoned. And none of them could imagine that before the next sunrise on their worlds, the galaxy would witness something it had never seen before, the wrath of Earth. The Terran envoy ship Resolute drifted through the blackness of space, silent and alone. Captain Marcus Reed sat in his chair, watching the holographic screens dance with data. The Council's signal of sanction still played in one corner, a cruel reminder of the vote that humiliated Earth in front of the galaxy. He replayed it once more as if studying the faces of those who condemned his homeworld. Each alien delegate had spoken with arrogance, their voices full of superiority. None of them had any idea what was coming. "Status report," Marcus said quietly. His ship's AI, a calm and feminine voice named Iris, replied, "We are clear of Council space. No pursuit detected." "Earth Command request confirmation of Phase 1 readiness," Marcus nodded. "Transmit confirmation code Alpha 7. There was a soft chime. Code transmitted. Earth Command acknowledges. He leaned back, eyes fixed on the void. It had begun. Humanity's quiet patience was over. For decades, Earth had hidden its true progress, developing in secret after centuries of being dismissed as primitive. The galaxy believed humans still used outdated drives and crude weapons, unaware that beneath the surface of Earth's moon and Mars, massive shipyards had been built. The Terran Alliance had prepared for this day since the first time an alien fleet threatened their colonies. Iris broke the silence again. "Captain, long-range sensors detect unusual energy bursts from Sol system. Pattern matches experimental Terran signatures." Marcus smiled faintly. That would be the Aegis network waking up. The Aegis network was a chain of orbital defense satellites around Earth, linked through quantum AI cores. It was a legend among Terran soldiers, a weapon of last resort that had never been used. Its activation meant one thing: the planet was no longer willing to be silent. He turned to the side console and opened a secure communication line. A familiar face appeared, a woman in a gray uniform with the Earth insignia glowing behind her. It was Admiral Hannah Voss, commander of the Terran Defense Fleet. Her expression was calm, but her eyes burned with purpose. "Captain Reed," she said, "the Council has made their move. You did well holding your ground." "I doubt they saw it that way," he replied. "They think we're broken." "Good," Voss said firmly. "Let them keep thinking that. Phase 2 begins soon. You're ordered to remain in neutral orbit and gather intelligence. We'll handle the rest." Marcus hesitated. "Permission to speak freely, Admiral?" "Granted. Are we really doing this?" "Full activation?" Voss nodded slowly. "They left us no choice. When the galaxy laughs at you long enough, you stop explaining and start reminding." Her image flickered as the connection ended. Marcus sat in silence, the weight of history pressing on his shoulders. Humanity had always been underestimated, mocked for its chaos and emotion. But emotion had built rockets, cured diseases, and faced extinction without surrender. That same emotion now turned toward survival and vengeance. Far away, beyond the range of the Council's sensors, strange signals began spreading through human space. Civilian freighters switched to military encryption. Mining colonies near the asteroid belt went dark. Entire communication networks shut down as if a curtain had fallen. The galaxy noticed, but too late. On the Council's central world, panic was beginning to grow. In the vast chamber where Marcus once stood, the delegates gathered again, this time with fear in their eyes. Reports flooded in from the outer sectors. Terran fleets moving silently, supply routes disrupted, and alien patrols vanishing near human borders. The Xylar ambassador hissed, his crystal body dimming. "They're mobilizing!" "They're violating the sanctions already." Chancellor Kareth slammed his staff on the floor. "Impossible. They do not have the power to wage war against us. But the Drathion delegate spoke in a low tone. Perhaps they do. My scouts report that entire human fleets have disappeared from their known coordinates. Either they're hiding, or they're preparing. The council chamber filled with anxious murmurs. Some called for immediate military action. Others warned against provoking a race that clearly had secrets. While the aliens argued, Marcus watched from his small ship, monitoring the council's communications feed. He could hear the chaos in their voices. The once arrogant leaders of the galaxy now sounded uncertain. He almost felt pity for them, but not enough to stop what was coming. Hours later, the signal came. A soft tone filled his cabin. "Message from Earth Command," Iris announced. Marcus straightened. "Read it." "One line only," the AI said. Phase 2 initiated. He closed his eyes for a moment. Somewhere, deep in the heart of Sol system, thousands of Terran warships were rising from their hidden docks. Massive dreadnoughts, each bearing the old Earth flag, powered up their reactors. The silence of space trembled under the hum of awakening giants. The galaxy would soon learn that Earth never forgot how to fight. Humanity's wrath was not wild rage. It was measured, disciplined, and absolute. Marcus looked at the stars again, feeling the weight of every decision, every insult, every moment of restraint. The Council thought they could cage Earth with rules. They thought they could shame humanity into obedience. But humanity had evolved in storms, survived on worlds that tried to kill them every day. They were the children of a death world, and now that world was awake. The Resolute's engines flared as it turned toward neutral space. Marcus watched the glow fade behind him, whispering under his breath, "They called us emotional. They're about to see what that really means." Far across the stars, the first Terran fleet entered warp, and the galaxy's peace began to shake.